Welcome to Coach's Corner.
Hi, I'm Melanie Tolan.
And I'm Sarah Matthews.
And last week we talked about how you might want to use notebooks in a classroom, but this week we're getting content specific and we're going to talk about writer's notebooks in the ELA classroom. I know you've used science notebooks a lot. Writer notebooks are a little bit different.
Okay.
Definitely it's more of an area to practice the art of writing, to really be thinking through the lens of a writer, and to be able to practice writing in a safe way where there's no pressure on, I have to turn this in for a formal essay or anything. We talked last week in our video about the why of how writer's notebooks can really help students. And in the ELA area, they definitely are going to provide inspiration or seed ideas for future writing. It's a great place for kids to practice the writing traits, the different genres. So it's different than a journal. It's not a place of just like free expression though.
Well, I love that idea of a seed idea. But there might be a few people, especially if you're teaching ELA and maybe it's not a content that you're really familiar with. What is a seed idea?
So it could be anything. Like a really easy way to use a writer's notebook is, number one, have it on your desk at all times, and even the teacher have it on their desk.
Okay.
And in fact, the teacher may have to model this a couple of times. So say you're having a class discussion or you're reading a book and there's a quote, something that just kind of interests you or inspires you. Yeah. Okay. You open it up,
just write it
down.
Okay.
And then later on, when you have a more formal writing assignment, you're going to have a notebook full of these seed ideas that can help you in that writing. I mean, how many times have you heard kids say, I don't know what to write?
Right. No pun intended.
all the time. I don't know how to get started. So those seed ideas are really feeding that future writing.
I really like that because even as an adult, when I hear quotes or I see something that I really like, I sort of maybe cut it out or take a screenshot and put it in a folder to use for later. So I think that's a really powerful thing to teach our kids.
You are big on notebooks. All right, time's up. Pencils down. So typically we go around the circle and share out a word or a phrase. So we're not going to read our whole passage.
Okay.
And you can say pass if you don't want to share. So would you like to share a word or phrase?
Pass. Just kidding. Okay. Grasshoppers are jumping in my garden.
And I will share patience, young grasshopper.
I'm working on that.
Okay, our circle of two. We would probably repeat this 2 times, so you would already have the Post-its and you just would pick another Post-it and repeat, share. It's also a good time if you want to practice positive feedback. You can give sentence stems and kids can give positive feedback to each other. Another way you might want to use your notebook, other than for seed ideas in a writer's circle, is just when you do mini lessons on writing. So say you want to do a mini lesson on a writing trait or a habit of mind or writing conventions. It's a great place for kids to then go into their notebook and try it out. You might even say once a week, I want you to pick out one piece of writing that you would like feedback on, and that's the piece that they get. So they get to choose what they like feedback on rather than you go through the whole notebook. Lastly, if you're wondering what to do the first couple of weeks with notebooks, you might want to just try with some exercises like 100 things I love, and you get kids to do some kind of colorful list of all the different things they love. You can do a list of questions they have about the world or a timeline of their life, likes, dislikes. Just these things could be those seed ideas, but they're kind of more structured ideas to get them going. So don't be afraid to try it out. It's a really simple thing to get started. And it will really add to that daily, consistent writing practice that our students need. Next week, we're going to be talking about science notebooks with Sarah, and after that, social studies notebooks.
Thank you, Melanie. That was great.
Coach's Corner.
Make sure to leave comments down below on the blog of the amazing things that you're doing with notebooks in your classroom.
Until next time.